Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are very, very blessed and very fortunate to have amidst us a very distinguished disciple of Srila Prabhupada, very senior disciple, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Maharaj needs no introduction, everyone knows him, but still it's on behalf of devotees of ISKCON Sydney, Radha Gopinath Mandir. I'd like to welcome His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami again. The big Hari Bol. So as you all know, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami is initiating spiritual master, guru, and also a governing body commissioner, GBC, for many parts of India and different parts of the world. And we are very fortunate, this is a very historic occasion today, that he is going to release his book, which I'm sure you're all waiting to see, Ocean of Mercy, his association Srila Prabhupada, and His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami is a big wave in that ocean that Prabhupada has brought to us. And we're going to be drenched by that wave of mercy. I don't want to say too much and spoil the show. I'll pass over the mic to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bijay Gopikesh Prabhu was speaking about me. Let me say a few words about Bijay Gopikesh Prabhu. I'll just, in simple words, I'll say that I have never seen a devotee like him. When he was in Australia, although his work area, field of his activities. Yeah, please, everyone, switch off your, or put your mobile phone in silent mode. Because you know why. So, I know Vijay Gopikesh Prabhu for many, many years, and I have been seeing him. He was working in Melbourne, but because he was preaching in Sydney, every weekend he was coming over to Sydney. just to preach. In weekends, people relax, do their things that they need to do at home and do the shopping. But Vijay Gopikesh Prabhu didn't really bother about that. Like, he just came to Sydney to preach. Then he got transferred from Australia to Hong Kong. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Japan, right, even further away. Japan, Tokyo. Can you imagine, from Japan every weekend he was flying to Sydney just to preach. And now he is in New Zealand, Auckland, and he is coming here every weekend. Did you ever fail any weekend? So far the planes have landed safely. I mean, this kind of commitment, this kind of sacrifice is really, really praiseworthy, extremely praiseworthy and wonderfully exemplary. Thank you so much, Vijay Gopikesh Prabhu. Only you could do things like this. Well, if I ask you, do you know anybody who has done that? Huh? No. Vijay Gopikesh Prabhu ki. And behind that, what do we find? Behind that, we see Srila Prabhupada's mercy. It is why one commits himself in this way. Why does one commit himself in this way? There has been many such commitments and sacrifices, and we can see that it is because of the inspiration and conviction. He has been convinced that what Srila Prabhupada gave is the most precious thing, the most important thing for this world. And that's why he is just coming here and preaching. And Srila Prabhupada did that. And we can consider here Prabhupada's sacrifice. At the age of 70, what one does do usually, actually. At the age of 70, one retires. And in India, those who are spiritually inclined, they generally retire at a holy place. Of all the holy places in India, which is the most important holy place? Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, which is the most important place? Radha Damodar temple, where Rupa Goswami Samadhi is. Raghunath Das Goswami's place of bhajan. Srila Prabhupada had a place right there. In one side, the deities of Radha Damodar, and on the other side of the room was Rupa Goswami's and Raghunath Das Goswami's place of worship. Like, what can be a more coveted, more desirable place than that? For a person who is of that age. But then, at the age of 69, at the end of 69 actually, Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan. Why did he leave Vrindavan? He was not, compassion. He was not concerned about his own welfare. He was concerned about the welfare of everyone, welfare of others, the suffering living entities in this material nature. And that is why, at the age of 70 practically, Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan. That also, how did he leave? Not by plane for America. He didn't travel to America by a regular ocean liner. Prabhupada traveled in a cargo ship. The ships that carry goods, and they stop in various ports to load and unload. And those ships are not really very comfortable, like naturally. They're meant for carrying goods. In one such ship, Prabhupada left and set out for America. How did he set out for America? What was his assets? He didn't have any money with him. Literally penniless. His assets actually were only 3 boxes of books that he translated into English. 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3 volumes of the translation of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, printed in India. So that is how Prabhupada left. He didn't know where he was going to stay. He didn't practically know anyone there. The only acquaintance that Srila Prabhupada had there was the person who sponsored his visa, US visa. He didn't know him. He knew his father, this gentleman's father. And his father wrote to his son, and his son complied, sponsored Srila Prabhupada's visa. So that was the only person that Prabhupada knew in America. And Prabhupada wrote to him that he was coming. There was no way of knowing whether he received the letter and whether he responded favorably, because there was no way, there was no return address. Fortunately, that person responded favorably. When Prabhupada arrived in New York, he sent a travel agent to receive him and put him in a bus to where he was staying, in a small little town called Butler in Pennsylvania. And on the way, during that passage, Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. Later on, Prabhupada said that he didn't know what actually happened to him at that time. He felt an acute pain, which was a clear symptom of heart attack. But Prabhupada, later on, when Prabhupada had a stroke in New York, then Prabhupada realized that those 2 attacks that he had were a heart attack. And what did Prabhupada see during that time? Prabhupada had a dream, which was very nicely depicted in the program that we had there in Opera House, through the dance performance, the different Dasavatar, 10 incarnations of the Lord were actually rowing the boat. And Arun Pandya, who was the captain of the ship, he later said in his entire career of, I think, about 20 years or 25 years, he never seen Atlantic to be so calm. As if Srila Prabhupada, for the sake of Srila Prabhupada, Krishna made all the arrangements. So, why does one do things like this? Prior to that also we can see Prabhupada's conviction. When Prabhupada met his spiritual master, what actually happened? When did Prabhupada meet his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? In 1922. How old was Prabhupada at that time? 26 years old. He had a very nice job. He was a manager of a pharmaceutical company. He was a householder with a child. And from that very first, due to that very first meeting with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada quit his job. Who will dare to do such a thing? At the age of 26, householder, had a child, and had a good job at that time. Left his job. In one hand, I was just thinking of asking you, how many of you are householders with children? But then I thought, okay, better I don't ask you, but I request you to consider what an impossible thing it is. When you're a householder with a little child, to take such a step, quit your job, plunge into total uncertainty. And then it was continuous struggle. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told him to go to America. Not America, I'm sorry. To preach Krishna consciousness, teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking world through English language. That meant going out of India. And since then Prabhupada had been struggling to do that. He took that instruction so sincerely that he took such a step of quitting his job, although he had such a responsibility of maintaining a family. And it was, if you look at Prabhupada's life, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for good 43 years. From 22 to 65. And then finally he gets an opportunity. When you see Prabhupada's life, we see that Prabhupada was prepared to go anywhere. Prabhupada once got an invitation to go to Japan. And Prabhupada was actually trying to go there. But it didn't happen. For all these 43 years it didn't happen. But finally when it happened, we can see that it was the most appropriate time to go to America. As if Krishna made all the arrangements. After the Second World War, America saw it's the height of material prosperity. America was the most opulent country in the world. America was the leading nation in the world, United States of America. But the youth of America became disillusioned. They saw that the material prosperity does not make your heart content, does not give you the inner satisfaction and happiness and joy. There are other factors also, the Vietnam War and so forth. The youth of America, in one hand they reached the height of prosperity, but the youth of America were drafted to fight the battle in Vietnam and give their lives. So at a time like that, when they revolted against that society, started a counterculture in search of a positive alternative to that lifestyle. Srila Prabhupada arrived in America. And then what happened is a history that has been written in golden letters. But we are too close to that history to recognize that fact. With the passing of time, the world will see that. What Srila Prabhupada achieved what Srila Prabhupada has done for this world. In course of time, that will unfold. So Srila Prabhupada, we see in 10 years' time, from nothing, like, as I was saying, like Prabhupada was literally penniless. He had 40 rupees in his pocket. 40 rupees. Could he change this rupees into American bank? As it is, it's only about $6 at that time. And what can you do with $6 in America? And that also is no value. This is just a piece of paper. This 40 rupees. And from that point, literally from zero, literally from the scratch, Prabhupada starts to spread Krishna consciousness. And then we see, like, all kinds of wonderful things started to happen. By 67, Prabhupada went to America 65, practically the end of 65, September. 66 was a lot of struggle. Then he establishes ISKCON, which we are celebrating, the 50 years of ISKCON in 1966, July. And from then onwards, we can just see what an amazing thing started to happen. In just 10 years' time, this movement spread not only through America, all over the world. And all kinds of amazing things started to happen. All kinds of amazing things started to happen to promote this movement. One such happening was just an accidental happening. Probably you all remember from Shamsundar Prabhu's description, the involvement of the Beatles, especially George Harrison. Shamsundar Prabhu did not elaborate because there was not enough time. There were so many speakers. I mean, I'll give you the background how it actually happened. They went to London. From America. They wanted to go. They wanted to take the movement out of America. Now, which is the most important place and the best place to go to? London. So they decided to go to London, but they didn't have any money to fly straight to London. There were cheap flights available that used to go to Luxembourg, Icelandic Airlines. And so they went to Luxembourg, and they thought that they'll come to Amsterdam and cross the Channel, come to England. But when they came there, they found that in order to enter into UK, if you don't have a return ticket, then you have to show a certain amount of money. Now, they didn't have the money for all 6 of them to go together. Somehow they got all the money together, which was just enough for one couple to go. And go means entered into UK. So one couple went to UK and wired the money back to Amsterdam for the second couple to go. Then again wired it back for the third couple to go. So this is how they entered into UK. They didn't know anybody. They didn't have any money. They didn't know where to stay. Fortunately, some Indian family allowed them to stay in their house. That was also not a very comfortable situation. And they wanted to preach, but who is going to listen to them? It is not the youth of America who are just waiting to receive something new, open to accept whatever is there, which is new and novel. But even the Indian family that they were living with, they were even not interested to listen to them. But then one day Shamsundar Prabhu bumped into one of his acquaintances, Rock Scully, who was the manager of a famous music group called the Grateful Dead. And so he asked why Rock Scully was there, and Rock Scully told him that he was there to meet the Beatles. Oh, okay, I missed one point here. I'm also trying to rush in a way. So they were trying to preach, but they were completely disheartened that no one was listening, no one was interested. Even the youth of London was different from youth of America at that time. So one day they saw a poster of the Beatles dressed in Indian clothes, dhoti and pajama. Not dhoti, I'm sorry, kurta and pajama. So, and at that, then it occurred to them that the Beatles are leaning towards the Indian culture. They already were in India, learning sitar from Ravi Shankar and yoga from Mahesh Yogi. So they thought that the Beatles will probably be a possible candidate to listen to them. But to approach the Beatles, to have an interview with the Beatles were practically next to impossible, because they were the most prominent people, the most important people of the world at that time. So they tried, but they could not succeed. Then he came across the Rock Scully. And when he got to know that Rock Scully came to meet the Beatles, to sign a contract, so then he asked whether he could introduce them to the Beatles. And Rock Scully said, yes, sure. And then on a particular day, he goes to Apple Studio, and Rock Scully is not there. And he tried to go in, but the gatekeeper won't let him go, because he didn't have an appointment. And that day it so happened that a lot of people, Beatles were going to give some interview or something like that. Like many people were invited to the studio. But he was not one of the invited guests, so he wouldn't let him in. So when he was reasoning with the gatekeeper, there comes a white Rolls Royce. Stops there. And John Lennon's Japanese wife, Yoko Ono, steps out of the car. And she sees Shamsundar Prabhu dressed in dhoti and kurta. And she tells him, you must be a friend of John. And Shamsundar Prabhu says, yes, yes. So she actually takes him in. And Shamsundar Prabhu, you have heard at that day, there were about 100 people there sitting in that area. George Harrison comes in. He walks straight out to him, ignoring everyone else, and tells him, where you guys been all this while? I saw you in San Francisco, chanting and dancing, and since then I had been wanting to meet you. And that's how it started. George Harrison invites him to his house, and they meet, they speak to him about Krishna consciousness, and he became so inspired that he wanted to meet Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada flies in. Prabhupada stays in John Lennon's house. Then they cut an album. They were My Sweet Lord. And then every day that you listen, Govindam Adipurusham, that was also recorded in Apple Studio, and George Harrison played the guitar. And this My Sweet Lord was the top of the pops, top 10, for many, many years, for a long, long time. And that caused a revolution in the youth of the world. So this is how Krishna made all kinds of arrangement to help Srila Prabhupada. And this is what it actually means by being empowered by the Lord. When somebody wants to serve the Lord, then He empowers him. Like for example, if you have a servant, and if the servant sincerely wants to do something for you, won't you give him all the support? So what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when He sees that His servant is trying to do something for Him, for His sake, He makes all the arrangements. And that is what actually happened with Srila Prabhupada. Anyway, so today, as it has been announced by Vijay Gopikesh Prabhu, that I'm launching one book that I recently wrote. It's called The Ocean of Mercy. Ocean of Mercy, this book is about Srila Prabhupada. And who is the Ocean of Mercy? His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And fortunately, I had been the recipient of that mercy to a great extent. I had the good fortune of meeting Srila Prabhupada, and I had this opportunity at a time when Srila Prabhupada had about 10,000 followers, more than 6,000 initiated disciples. And when devotees were dying to have a moment's association of Srila Prabhupada, and it was so rare to even come close to him, I had the good fortune of being with Srila Prabhupada practically 24 hours a day. Anyway, and I had the good fortune of being with him until Srila Prabhupada left the planet, and Prabhupada left in 1977, November. In 1979, there was a palace opening in New Vrindavan. Prabhupada's palace was built, Prabhupada's palace of gold. How many of you have seen the palace of gold in New Vrindavan? Please raise your hands. Okay, please make it a point to go and see it. It's a beautiful community with it's a palace of gold that was built for Srila Prabhupada by the devotees in America. And the opening of that palace didn't happen when Prabhupada was present on the planet. It took place in the summer of 79, and I went to take part in that ceremony. And then after that I came to New York, and one of my godbrothers, Jogeshwar Prabhu, he wanted me to go and do a program in Long Island in the house of a devotee, where many people came, many people assembled. So while we were driving, I asked him, what should I speak on? So he said, you had such close association of Srila Prabhupada, why don't you speak on Srila Prabhupada? And so that's what I did. I spoke about Srila Prabhupada, and while we were driving back, he was just gloating about that class. And not only that, he went and told the devotees what an exciting class it was. So the devotees requested me to give a class in the temple, New York temple. And since I was speaking to the devotees, I was kind of giving it more elaborately this time. And that class went on for 3 evenings. And this is how the word actually spread. So wherever I went from then onwards, devotees were requesting me to give the class on Srila Prabhupada. So that's how I also love to speak about Srila Prabhupada. It's revised the memories so wonderfully. And then finally, and at that time only the devotees were asking me to write a book. But I never thought of writing a book, because I thought that I'm speaking, they're listening, and everybody knows, because mind you, those days everyone was Prabhupada disciples. Everyone knew Srila Prabhupada quite well. It was only recently, about 2 years back, my godbrother, Jayadvaita Maharaj, was insisting. He used to tell me from time to time that I should write my memories of Srila Prabhupada. So then Jayadvaita Maharaj this time was very emphatic. He said, look, we are not going to be here forever. Devotees are leaving their bodies. But the memories of Srila Prabhupada is going to be very, very special. And if you all leave, then they'll be lost. So keep them. And as a result of Jayadvaita Maharaj's persuasion, I decided to write. And it all started with one of my disciples in Holland, Rangaradhika. I told her to just collect from the recordings the anecdotes and put them in. So she did that. She did a very good job. She put all the anecdotes, all happenings, important happenings, in about 60 pages, typewritten pages. And then I started to work on that, and it went to about 350 pages. And then I needed someone to edit it. And I was consulting with Garuda Prabhu, one of my godbrothers, who is a professor and a PhD from Harvard. And he was teaching also in Harvard. So he suggested that Tamal Krishna Maharaj's younger brother, whom I knew very well, he is the head of the department of the University of Iowa. Anyway, I'm forgetting the... and I contacted him, and he was very much willing, so he did the editing. And while he was editing, he just told me that, look, Maharaj, this is all about Srila Prabhupada that you're describing, but people would want to know about your life also, about you also. So please... And so that actually made me write the first chapter, and which was briefly describing what I had been doing and how I came to Krishna consciousness, how I came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. So that's how this book has come out. So I named it The Ocean of Mercy, and it is printed by Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, BBT. Now this is also another thing. Like BBT generally publishes Prabhupada's books, but very kindly they accepted to print this book. I think mainly because it was about Srila Prabhupada, So anyway, so this is the... After, it came to about 250 pages, and this book has various illustrations also, like one artist who is a very good artist from Calcutta. He did the cover painting also. This is an oil painting, and then there are some illustrations depicting different happenings that has been described in the book. So I'll first like to offer the book to Srila Prabhupada here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe, Jai Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Radhe, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada.